man who plays video games. Okay. All right. What is this? The library sent out an alert. I'll tell my wife about it. Super interesting methods they use. You guys watch the vid, very cool. I was watching guys play high-level Tetris the one day, and it was insane. Like the stuff they do with the controller, and like they were doing like this roll thing. I was like, what the heck is going on? You triggered Google on my Pixel 8. What did I say? The question I always have. Okay, I'm a real stubborn gamer. Okay.
Huh?
If I'm fighting a boss and my strategy's not working, it's the game's fault. Okay. It's the game's fault. That's always how I've been. I'm like, frick this game. I should be able to play this way if I want. Like, I beat Owl in Sekiro, and I didn't use any Shinobi arts. And people are like, what are you doing? You just beat that guy on hard mode. Why'd you only use your sword? And I was like, because I want to. So, these guys that are like, I don't know, man. Tetris seems like it's getting a little too fast. I don't think we can do it. And they're like, but what if we hold the controller different? And what if we like have gloves and we roll and we use the back of the controller? Bro, I'm not on your wavelength, man. I'm not on your wavelength, okay? If I can't beat the boss after 2 attempts, the game's cheating, all right? You're trying to beat Tetris that's moving so fast, it'll give the average person a headache. And you're like, let's just turn the controller over. We can get gloves. We can beat this. Bro, I've already moved on, man. I'm already playing something else. I am not on their level, dude. I got respect. I got respect for those guys. Can't do it. I'm not wired that way. I think it's just different mentalities, man. I don't play games for that. For like that level of prestige. On God, dude, on God. Like, I don't play games for that. I'm just trying to win. I'm trying to feel cool, and losing and dying doesn't feel cool. And they're like, no, dude, we can beat this. Come over here. I'm gonna roll it off your forehead. I think we can do it.
All right, let's get back into it.
You need to be gifted? Sorry, man. We can't target gifting. We can't target gifting, you know? You've had a purple badge in the past, which means you've consistently gotten a gifted membership for months in a row, you know? If you can't afford a membership, I totally understand that. I do. If you're just always like, man, I hope I can get to my 9th and 12th month off somebody else, you know, I can't do anything about that. Tons of people can't afford memberships, and I appreciate all the generosity, but some of y'all could pick up your own and make room for people like that, you know? Like, if Spongeroth and the Pants can't afford their
Forgot all about this shit.
Then he says, oops. Yeah, you know, people rolling in here with purple and gold badges, you know? They're like, yeah, dude, I've had a membership for over a year. Like, okay. I hope you've needed it. I hope you've needed it. Sorry about that. Oh, homie, I don't care. I don't care. If we could pick people to get memberships, we would. We would. That's a feature that we wish we had. Because there's people that we would like to click on every month because we just know we're like, homie can't get it right now. Homie can't get
that's right.
We would take care of it. We would. But right now, it's batches. They do it in batches. So, yeah, they just base it off of interaction with the channel and stuff like that. Driving from the premiere, be ready for a hard out at 12:03. I can't do a hard out at 12:03. The premiere will go at 12. You can't select 03 on a premiere creature. What you talking about? 17 months from Slapman. Slapman, if you're paying for your own membership, you're going to want to go upgrade it to a standard membership. That's the $5 is the gifted tier now. Sony Kent jumps back in as a membership. Thank you so much. Once my engagement ring payments are over, I'm picking up my own. Yeah, we've had a lot of people that got to a point where they're like, homie, I can't pay for my membership anymore. That's totally fine. That we've got so many generous people here. You don't have to worry about that. If you can afford your own membership, you have a lot of reasons to do it now because all the extra content is now behind a paid membership. So, except for community game nights and Hilly Hijinks. If we do a Hilly Hijinks stream or we do a community game night, all members can come to that. So. Yeah, there's someone named Selixa, I think, in the kid's current Redwall book, and I constantly trigger the echo. 5 gifted members from Terminal Stupidity. Thank you so much. See, like I said, we got people here that'll take care of you. If you can't afford your own membership, there it is. See, Spongeroth? You see? You see how that works? You know? If you're here, if you're involved, if you're interacting, and you're like, homie, times are tough, can't afford a membership, well, you'll get taken care of almost every month. Wish I could get gifted. Ghost, you need to upgrade to a standard membership. You knuckle. This man will drop a 50 bomb on chat, and he's won't upgrade. Come on, Ghost, what you doing? I want to see you in member streams and Friday nights, bro. What are you doing? I'm only calling him out because, like, we've known each other for a really long time. I follow him on Twitter. He's been super generous to the channel, so I'm giving him crap. When you can, pay it forward. Yeah, we've had people do that. I've had people do that. They're like, yo, I got a job. I'm picking up my own membership, and then they drop some gifteds. They're like, I'm paying it forward. Because people took care of them all this time. That's awesome. Just how he rolls. It's just how he rolls, dude. I was almost about to pay up. Well, I'll tell you what, Spongeroth, what you can do is you can upgrade to a standard membership. It's the $6 tier instead of the $5, and basically pay the difference, and then you get access to all the extra content. So you still can jump out of the gifted pool. It's possible. 12, hard out in the way. I've never done that. I don't know what you're talking about, Creature. We've consistently gone to the premiere at noon. I don't linger. If I linger, I push the premiere to 12:15. We've never gone to a premiere at 12:03. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do that. They would miss the countdown in the first minute of the video. I have no idea what you're talking about. We're on different wavelengths or something. Are you talking about Twitter or something? Yeah, standard membership is $6. The only reason we do that is it's $5 for gifted, it's $6 for full membership. We just do that so there's a clear delineation, and I made it as cheap as I could. I'd make it a penny if I could. So you would just go in and check a box and be like 501, and then you would just be in that separate pool of I'm paying for my own membership. I wish I could do that. It would be great, but I can't. DK Baker with a gifted member. Thank you so much.
Oh!
All right, guys. In about 5 minutes, we are gonna do members only Q&A. I'll switch the chat to members only, and then we will open up a game AMA. And my man Rich Rod, you got mentioned in the monologue this morning. I gave you credit for putting me on the rabbit trail of the iSize AI company acquisition. I included that in my show opening.
Can't
monologue.
play with no audio.
I gave that tip yesterday in the writers' room. I wonder how the Portal will interact with the PS5 Pro. I brought that up earlier. I'm wondering what the peripherals will benefit from. Like, will the PSVR 2 suddenly get, performance boost or something like that? What about the Portal? Yeah. Yeah, the main live stream will always be free. Is somebody asking about that? Yeah, we're not changing anything with that. Like, the main live stream is always free. The premieres are always free. I don't even give the uploads to the members early or anything like that. It's always live stream, premiere, and then we go to writer's room. we've just made that decision because it gives me more time. Like, I needed more time for games and reviews and other projects, and it's like I was spending more time with the members than I was on anything else. Like, I wasn't giving to my monologues I wasn't having enough time to write, I wasn't having enough time to record. If I get early access to a game to play it and do a review, I didn't have enough time for that either. So we just made a couple adjustments to the schedule. Mach-Y Ninja with a gifted membership. Thank you so much. Taking us to 35 members on the day. Thank you so much.
What the fuck, bitch?
An upgrade on mobile. Apple, you got to go to a browser and request the desktop. No. Don't do anything. No, I don't want you driving that. No. I'm scheduling because I do different things with the member stream to not trigger noties and stuff. Don't mess with my flow. I can schedule. I can do that. I don't want... No. I'll do it. I do something very specific with the Premiere so they don't get a noti. I do something very specific with the member stream so they don't get a noti. Let me just do it. It's 60 seconds for me to do all that. Yo, what's good, Captain Steve? Don't you take that? You're throwing me off. It's gonna mess with my mojo. I've got very specific things that I do. I usually listen to the VODs on Spotify, and today I learned that you had to allow GIFs. You do, Schnozberries. You do. Thank you, Mach-Y Ninja. There you go. Schnozberries, you've been around for a long time. I remember you from Purple, right? Yeah, your YouTube account's really old. Yeah. We're down 3 noties in this test. They've already gotten 2. I'll explain later. Yeah, explain it later because I don't know what in the heck's going on, and we need to make sure we're not falling back into the trap because we got much better treatment by the platform today, and the last thing I want to do is suddenly hit all the members with like bing, 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 like what the frick's going on? Because they'll get one for the schedule and they'll get one for when we go live. So that's 2 right there for members that I don't think we need to send. I was doing something real specific with the member stream, and I was doing something really specific with the Premiere as well. Yeah, no touching the thermostat. Yeah, you're throwing me off my mojo. If Sony prices the PS5 Pro right, then hopefully it'll put the PlayStation brand at the right spot. What do you mean at the right spot? Are they in a bad spot right now in your mind? Like, I feel like they've done a really good job this gen with the marketing, with the saturation, with the sales, all of it. I feel like they've done an incredible. Did you see IGN's first on Dragon's Dogma 2? They plan to do loads through January. First one was yesterday. Covered some of the classes. Was a good video. I didn't get a chance to check it out, Captain Steve. But yeah, guys, check out Steve if you're interested in Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm hearing good things. Yo, Lazy Nerd with 17 months in a VIP says, dope. Welcome back, Lazy Nerd. Thank you so much. Well, guys, it's the final 30 minutes, and we switch the chat in the final 30 minutes to members only, and I launch a gaming AMA. And I also gift the members that I owe you. So I currently owe you 5 members. If you guys keep pushing the memberships, I'll owe you more. We currently need 15 more for the next milestone. So let me drop the memberships that I owe.
Oh, I forgot I can
chat,
kick too.
And let me launch the members only gaming AMA. And this allows you guys to kind of go a little bit off the beaten path. If you've got questions about other things going on in the world, like you guys asked me what I thought the biggest disappointment this year would be, and I upset a lot of people's fifis because I said I thought Avowed
my fifi
was going to be disappointing, dude. People's opinions are emotionally damaging in this day and age. It's amazing. Words hurt. Words hurt, chat. Anyways, there's your 5 gifteds that I owe you. Click the gaming AMA at the top of the chat and use that to ask me questions. That is something specifically for the members for the last 30 minutes of the show. Thank you guys so much. This is new. Yeah, we made a couple of changes. Dude. Q&A deleted the text that I was typing. You'll be okay, Butters. You'll be okay. Your batting average is hit or miss, so it might not even have been a comment worth making. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it was best that it got deleted. You watch the gameplay of Dragon's Dogma, JC? It looks good. Be careful talking about Dragon's Dogma 2. You'll summon Wheezy. Wheezy will suddenly show up in chat. You know, you say Monster Hunter.
How the fuck did I not kill
or
you?
Dragon's Dogma or Dragon's Dogma 2, and Wheezy will materialize into thin air. Like, poof. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Did I miss any fan funding? No, I did not. No, Rich Rod with a $2 super chat tip said, I missed it. Work? No worries, dude. Go back and watch the show open. You'll be able to see it. Yo, Captain Steve with the first members only question. He says, what games first quarter will you be playing? I am geared up and ready for The Last of Us Part 2 remaster because I never got to play it. I recently went through Part 1 remake because I hadn't played The Last of Us Part 1 since I think it was like 2017. It was about 6 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I played it on my brother's PS3 that I borrowed. Amazing experience. I love that game probably more than I did before. Really looking forward to the sequel. I will also be checking out during the first quarter Helldivers 2, Rise of the Ronin, Prince of Persia, and I'm not really interested in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm not a Final Fantasy guy. I liked Final Fantasy 16, but that was like the first one that I really fell in love with, and even that one I took a break from, hoping that we get a performance mode patch. I might have to wait to play that game until I can play it on my PS5 Pro, and then maybe the performance mode won't be so bad. Maybe when they start porting it to PC, they make some updates to FSR that'll then update it. But yeah, first quarter's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. I feel like Porter Rock put a tweet out, and he had one on there that I had forgotten about. Maybe, let's see. He tweeted about the first quarter. No, yeah, he put Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Yeah, that's not for me. Yeah, those games, I feel like those games are really exciting. Now, I will say this. I've got a video coming today about how I think Xbox should do more shadow drops. We've got insider info on a developer direct that's apparently coming. And I'm thinking they could do a shadow drop of Towerborn. If we get Towerborn in the first quarter this year or 33 Immortals, I'm really interested in those games. Hellblade 2, I hope is fourth quarter. I want that game to cook as long as possible. Avowed, I have no idea. I feel like they'll probably try to leverage Avowed as like a summer game. Maybe they could do that, during Summer Game Fest, have a short window there, be like, hey, look at this great big long gameplay thing of Avowed, but first quarter, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lona, would you rather have unlimited bacon but no more games, or games, unlimited games, but no more, I think you meant to say, but no more bacon. I don't eat bacon all that often, so I would take the games over the bacon. Sorry, that's an easy decision. Zach Johnson says, I heard you say in the past that the next big live service game is being cooked up. Who would you bet on having that? Now, I've not said that the next big live service game is being cooked up. I said the next best looter shooter is being created. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be live service. Live service, I think, is hitting an apex point where they are going to have to really rethink format. I think we've talked about this a lot. Like, player engagement funnel model isn't working, and they're going to have to go to content model. They're going to have to go to a content model. So that's what I think personally. So I think live service is hitting that apex point of the player engagement funnel model isn't going to work. They're going to have to evaluate and evolve and do something different. So my most anticipated game of 2024 is Hellblade 2, followed closely by Star Wars Outlaws. I'm a bigger Star Wars fan, but Hellblade's really special to me. So Hellblade 2 is my most anticipated game this year. Welcome to VIP, NE8O. And then Nick, welcome back as a gifted. Nick, you're going to want to upgrade to a standard membership, which is $1 more at $6, but you're going to want to do that. You need to say welcome to member instead of welcome to gifted. The $5 tier is now basically only for gifted. It's not for standard memberships. So, Let's take a look at the more questions here. Anybody can submit questions right now. Chat right now is for all members. Let's see. Dark Taco says, do you think Microsoft will make more acquisitions in 2024? Any dev teams in mind? I don't know if they're going to want to do that right now. I think they could. I think getting Activision Blizzard would certainly, if I was Microsoft, it would certainly embolden me to go for more. I actually think the reverberation of their Activision Blizzard deal, I actually think that's going to turn into other companies are going to start buying up. I think Embracer Group is freeing up a lot of capital and funds to do that. I think that you could see Tencent grab some folks. We know PlayStation wants to as well. But I just don't know if that's where Microsoft wants to focus their attention right now. I think Xbox is going to heavily focus on Activision Blizzard integration. I think they really want to launch this ecosystem. I think they want that presence in that storefront on mobile. They're going to want that presence and that footprint on TVs. They really want to get that Japanese footprint going, especially with PC Game Pass. So I don't know if they're going to focus on acquisitions. I know there's rumors about Sega. CD Projekt Red recently really shot down rumors that anybody's trying to buy them. They're not open to it, so it's not them. I would see Sega being maybe a potential. I just don't know. I just don't know if that's what they want to focus on right now. I think that might be disruptive, right? Thank you, Nick, for upgrading to a member, dude. I appreciate that very, very much. Rich Rob with a $2 super chat. PlayStation pretty much confirmed Metal Gear Solid 2024. Oh, they did on YouTube? There'll be a ripple effect. PSA, Epic Game Store has Guardians of the Galaxy for free. Yes, snag that. That's a really good game. It's a really good game. Microsoft had their biggest acquisition. Why would they tire themselves out? It's not about tiring themselves out. It's about...
Damn, this guy is
their
fucking
strategy
shield.
going forward is more of a brute force ownership strategy, and it makes sense when you have the deep pockets that they do. So
Oh, I'm out of ammo. What the
I don't
fuck?
think that's good for us. I don't think that's good for the consumer. And I think all these acquisitions, I think you're already seeing the result of what these acquisitions can lead to with a lot of the downsizing and the layoffs and the potential future foreclosures of the companies under Embracer. So I actually think it's worrisome. I don't think people quite understand. I think they look at it and they think, oh, this is amazing. My team just won a bunch of games and a bunch of content. But what they don't understand is, let's just go back in time to 2020 and 2021. The tech sector and the gaming sector overhired. And then what happened in 2023? Tens upon thousands of layoffs, okay? So what you do today, it echoes into the future. And so buying a company at $70 billion will have reverberations in the future. And if you don't think so, I just don't think you're paying attention to Embracer Group. And so I do think there will be, sadly, a lot of studio foreclosures and layoffs in the future. I don't think that's going to slow down at all. I don't even think the fallout from 2021 is even done yet. I also think that budgets are ballooning and mushrooming.
I was using way too much ammo.
Unsustainable sizes. 2023 was great for gamers. It was bad for the industry. I see that sentiment a lot, and I don't agree with it. The industry did what was completely and utterly natural. And I know that sounds like cold and lacking in empathy, but it's the facts. Like, it's what happened isn't bad for the industry. You know what's bad for the industry? Not adjusting and just being like, nope, we're just gonna keep spending, and then the whole company shuts down. That's bad for the industry. Like, the industry did what it was supposed to do. It corrected from an over-correction. It's not bad for the industry to do that. It's bad for the people. But this idea that like the industry was somehow harmed this year, what are you talking about? That's what the industry must do. Businesses must do this to survive. Now I know people will say, well, they don't have to do layoffs. You know, CEOs and C-suites, you know, they could have taken pay cuts. I mean, maybe we're dealing with, you know, certain levels of, you know, C-suite level entitlement. It's so baked into the Western mentality, and you don't see that in, you know, there was the report about, what was it, the guy at Nintendo or whatever, like somebody took a giant pay cut so they didn't have to lay people off. I'd like to see staffing levels from 2019 compared to today.
All right.
Like, Bungie's
Next
a
one.
great test case.
Come on, bitch.
Bungie is a great test case. Oh my gosh. Oh, the horror of the layoffs. Everyone press pause. They had 900 employees. Then they mushroomed up to 1,200. Now they have 1,100. Where's this dire, oh gosh, what a terrible year for the industry? What do you mean? They're still bigger than they were in previous years.
Yeah, there you go.
The reality of these adjustments hurts people, but business doesn't care about that. It can't afford to care about that. Because if it starts to care about that, that's when you have studios that just can't keep the lights on. You just shut the whole thing down. Would it be better to not lay people off, become an unsustainable business, and then the whole business shuts down, and instead of 100 people getting laid off, 1,200 people are out of a job? Like, which is better? What do we discuss? Like, you see what I'm saying? But if you talk about it in that way, it's going to get, you know, clipped and snagged and used to be like, look at this jerk. He doesn't care about getting people laid off. Well, yeah, well, neither do you. Neither do you. Do you honestly have deep-seated empathy for tens of thousands of people? No, you don't, because you don't know them. But it's an easy virtue grab. It's an easy virtue grab.
Get these missiles.
We don't have
There we go.
to empathize and
I gotta use my missiles. I gotta try to stagger them more often. Really saves me a lot of ammo.
But it's an easy virtue grab.
Woo! Suck my dick, Iguaza.
Yo, what's good, Broken Low?
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I understand the concerns about AI, Captain Steve. I do. I understand the concerns about AI. I understand the concerns about AI replacing voice actors. I understand the concerns about, you know, AI becoming a cannibalistic force. But there are plenty of industries that have gone through this where automation replaces a person. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's a force of nature. At some level, it's like, well, people are still making the decision. Of course. Of course. A flood isn't autonomous. It doesn't decide to flood a village, right? That's a force of nature that you're like, oh, this is terrible. What a tragedy. And if you see automation replacing people, it's like, oh, this is terrible. What a tragedy. And it's like, but at some level, it is a force of nature, because the way these businesses are set up at the scope and the size that they exist, they're never going to not do something that pads profit and raises value. They're never going to avoid it. Not at the size that these companies exist. It isn't possible. They can't do it. Hey, we did all this R&D and all this research, and if you would have done this, the cost benefit would have been incredible. Why didn't you do it? Well, a couple hundred people would have lost their jobs. You know what that person would have said? You're fired then, and I'll do it. We're doing this. It's going to save us billions. It's going to save us millions. We're doing this. It's going to raise our value. It's going to raise our margin. It's a force of nature. It's like you can't stop it. I'm not saying that it's good. I'm not saying that we should celebrate it and throw confetti in the air and yay, AI's replacing people. Woo! Like, I'm not celebrating. I'm just looking at it straight faced. Video rental companies shut down too. Why? Should Redbox and Netflix not have done what they did? They innovated on the way that you consume media, and it completely torpedoed an entire business. So they have just not done that? Force of nature. Just, we've got to do this. Let's innovate. Let's advance. Let's do more. Be more. Better. More money. More money. More money. It's gonna happen in every sector. So wherever you're working right now, that's a reality that you could face. That it's not good, bad. It's not something we should celebrate. It's the reality of the world itself. You got to live life on life's terms. Like that. You're allowed to grieve it and be sad that you lost or someone you know lost their job. There's nothing wrong with grieving it. But this idea of like this high-minded ideal of like, oh, it's a great year for gaming, but a bad year for the industry, a bad year for the devs. I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't know what you're talking about. Every other tech industry went through this, not just gaming. They all went through it. It sucks for the people that it affects, but it's like so many sectors have gone through this. Now, you also have to remember that while the tech sector and the gaming sector was like having this explosion and all this hiring in 2020 and 2021, you know what other people were doing? Losing their houses and losing their jobs and losing their restaurants and losing their livelihood. It sucked. It was terrible. I lost great restaurants in my city. Long-standing businesses are a distant memory now. So, while one fell, the other rose. And tech and gaming sectors like, yeah, man, all these people were celebrating getting new jobs. Streamers were celebrating getting like record income and record viewership because everybody's stuck at home. And meanwhile, people were trying to figure out how they were going to make ends meet, moving back in with their folks, shutting their doors of their business. And it sucked. But in industry surviving and companies surviving because of protecting margins and protecting their duty to their shareholders and all of that, it's like that's not bad for the industry. That's just what the industry is going to do. It's going to find a way to survive. These companies aren't just going to be like rolling over and be like, well, couldn't make ends meet. Let's just keep going until we close the doors. Imagine being some of the 1,100 people that still have a job at a company and being like, well, I'm sad those people left, but if they hadn't, we all could be facing, foreclosure or bankruptcy and scandal. Like, you could be facing all those other things. And I don't know. I just noticed that a lot of the commentary on it got a little, I think, doe-eyed and self-righteous, And everyone was like, pro dev, pro dev, pro dev, at the Game Awards, and pro dev about the layoffs, And then when it came to like the Insomniac hack, it was like, yeah, well, we have a duty to the public to show all this. And it's like, no, you don't. You can talk about it without showing it. You can talk about it. You can minimize the damage to the company and the people that worked on the project. But, being pro-dev is convenient, right? Advantageous altruism is the worst kind. What do you expect from the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2024? This one comes from a Spongeroth. There's a lot of questions in here that I'm not going to get to. So you guys that's a great reason to become a full member for the $6. You can come to the stream after the premiere and re-ask your question. I'm hoping that the rumors about the Nintendo Switch 2 are true and that they can boost performance of games but still be true to their identity and be portable and just keep being Nintendo. Nintendo is king. Mario is king. So, what do we got here? Stonespire, concerning the PS5 Pro, do you have a rough average where you think its power will land versus the PS5? The tech specs that I looked at, I'm not a tech spec guy, but this makes sense to my brain. What we're hearing is that performance mode will maintain 60 FPS with ray tracing. That makes sense to my brain. I'm like, oh, okay. So I can turn on the pretty stuff and still get 60. Got it. That's all I need to know. Like, as a layman, I don't need to know, well, it's going to use 60 out of the 64 CUs, and what that means is it's going to basically be comparable to a 7800 XT, and it does this kind of power consumption, and teraflops and flippity flop, and wearing flip flops in the rain. Like, I don't go down that. I don't know any of that stuff. I don't care to know any of that stuff. So all I know is, like, I can turn on the pretty things, and I can get 60 FPS. Sweet. I'm pro dev, but in the same breath, I save money, I don't borrow money. When times get tough, we're able to weather those storms. Sure. But I think what happened in 2020 and 2021 with the dev companies and the tech companies overhiring, it's difficult to be like, it's hindsight's always 2020. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have hired all those people. Okay. Well, if they wouldn't have hired all those people, what would that have done to the projects? What would that have done to the timelines? What would that have done to the profitability and the efficiency of the company? Like, to hire up from 900 to 1,200 and then to trim down to 1,100, it's hard to fault the company for that. It's like, okay, that seems still like you made the right choice. You needed to grow. You just grew a little too big. What's going to happen? And the 100 people that got laid off had a job and were able to pay their bills for a couple of years that maybe if they wouldn't have hired, they wouldn't have been able to do that. They would have been, oh, well, I couldn't get a job. Nobody was hiring. It's so difficult to go back and be like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that, when it's so easy to armchair quarterback it, Monday morning quarterback it and be like, well, what they should have done was, and it's like, well, I mean, how could they have possibly known that? And can we even definitively argue that? Can we definitively argue? I don't know. I've been in those groups before, big hiring rounds followed by layoffs. Right. If anything, if we know it's a pattern in the market, then I kind of want to tell people, shouldn't you have anticipated this? Like, I don't know if you're faulting the company, Ginger, for being like, yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They overhired, right? And they put themselves into a position where, they had to lay people off. Well, I'm looking at the people that got laid off and saying, well, maybe you should have anticipated this, right? You thought this massive hiring was going to be like, they were going to be able to sustain this amount of growth. You should have thought layoffs were coming, right? You took the job, and listen, especially the whole, oh, it was at the end of the year right before the holidays. Yes, huge bummer. Were you paying attention for all of 2023? Because if you were, you should have been updating your resume and checking out your prospects, because you had to know this was coming. You had to know this was coming. Now, in some respects, I fault the companies for like pulling the wool over people's eyes and acting like layoffs weren't going to happen, and they did happen. That's kind of nasty. But also, were you not paying attention? Were you not watching the industry for the entirety of the year and being like, this is probably going to make landfall with us too? This is a market reality right now. This is what's happening. It's coming. It's like when they tell people there's a massive storm coming or there's this or that coming, and they're like, we're going to stay here and weather it. And then everyone's like surprised Pikachu face that they got to get airlifted from their house. It's like, well, they told you to leave. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, yes, it sucks, but we have to play by the rules of the world, and those rules say personal responsibility is key. If you assume you're safe, you're going to get cold clocked. Okay, I understand. I understand where you're coming from, Ginger. Okay, then yeah, I kind of agree with you. Guys, in 4 minutes, we are going to be going to a video where I argue that Xbox should do more shadow drops, and we may be getting one. If we get 15 more members, I will gift more. If we hit 50, I'll give 5 more, and people could join the current Q&A session that we're having right now that is just for members. After the premiere, we're going to the writer's room, and you have to be at a $6 membership or higher to come to that. So make sure that you get yourself nice and updated if you would like to come to that, if you've enjoyed today's stream, do me a favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss my future shows and content. If I'm ever not on your homepage, be sure to check your subscriber page. I'm going to do one more question. If your question did not get answered, then be sure to upgrade to the $6 so you can come to the writer's room and you can re-ask it. Since No Man's Sky is not on the docket, what's after TLOU 2 Remaster? Whatever's in February. Helldivers? As far as moving through my backlog, I honestly don't know. I'm kind of feeling the draw and the pull to give Lies of P another chance. Lies of P keeps coming up. Like, Lies of P keeps coming up in conversations about, like, it just didn't get enough praise, didn't get enough attention. I did a stream where I said the outlets got it wrong, you know. Do you think Bungie is losing its independence, and if so, will Sony pull a Phil? I honestly don't know what's going to happen to that company because I think the leadership is terrible and toxic, and I think they have set the table for a downward spiral. They laid off 100 people. They were nasty about it. They were unkind about it. They didn't handle it very well. And in the wake of that, they basically set the morale at the company on a trajectory of they won't turn it around. I don't think so. And it's the leadership's fault. I think the leadership has set the table. And I think when your virtue is fake and your altruism is motivated by money, then I think that becomes crystal clear when these types of moments happen. And I think they made that really clear. I think that the whole we got to turn this around, you know. This expansion's got to be amazing. I don't think so. And gamers have short-term memory; they'll be fine.
Gotcha.
I think they've hit their franchise peak.
Suck my robo dick.
I think their franchise has peaked. I think it's just been around for too long. I think every franchise peaks and either has to completely reinvent itself or go away and come back or what have you. I don't think they can do it. I don't think they can get enough interest and sales. I don't think they can get the player funnel.
What the fuck is this?
I don't think it can get to the point where they're going to be able to avoid more layoffs. And I think if they fall low enough, I think that Sony can pull some levers themselves. So I'm going to post a link in the chat, and we are going to go to this.
Might go back to the
Xbox
Gatling guns.
Doing more Shadow.
Let's try those.
I think they should do more. We got insider information about a developer direct that's coming in January. I had already said I thought they were going to do another one. I had already said
no checkpoint.
Hey,
all right.
I think they should do another Shadow drop. Let's go check out what this insider has to say and why I think that Xbox is in the best position to do Shadow drops on a regular basis. Let's go check it out. The top 25 games that I am looking forward to in 2024 was an incredibly hard list to compile, mainly because I've got to say, I think I was wrong about 2024 when I said it might potentially end up being a bit thinner than 2023. By all accounts, it is shaping up to be another incredibly full year.
Come on, pussies.
For gaming. And as I was compiling a list, we were going to kind of go through, here's all the confirmed games for 2024, like look how full the year is. It just got too big. So I decided to take out the top 25.
Bro, sliding, what the fuck?
I was listing all of the current confirmed or slated games for 2024. It would have landed in the 40 to 50 game range, and that's not including like lesser known titles or indies. So I'm even
oh shit, that was fast. Yeah, these chain guns are way better.
Top 25. There's also around 6 or 7 remakes or remasters that I'm also looking forward to as well.
Yes,
now,
Katie.
I put all the good information right here at the beginning of the video, so you don't have to go searching for it. It's sort of an opening monologue, and then I discuss it with the live audience. So make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss out on my content. So I put together a top 25 list of my most anticipated games of 2024. What was supposed to be just sort of a list of confirmed games.
Yes, Kitty.
In the
Hello.
year, it just grew too large for one video. So I got a list of the 25 games announced for 2024 that I am the most anticipating. Now, some of these games have hard dates. Some have release windows, and some are just saying that they're coming in 2024. And it's tough to put the list of 25 games in order from what I'm looking forward to the most to the least. But I am going to try to do that. I try to kind of structure it so we start with the most anticipated. And
no, don't play with my joint. You can't
number
smoke.
one spot, my most anticipated game of the year is going to be Hellblade 2. Currently, we do not have a date for this game, but I anticipate the Xbox Developer Direct that will likely come in January will give us release dates for their bigger games this year, and I believe Hellblade 2 is going to have a release date at that event, and this to me is the biggest game from Xbox in 2024 at least. For me. Now second, and this almost took first place, but second is going to be Star Wars Outlaws. As a huge Star Wars fan, I think this game looks very promising.
Shit.
We're hearing more and more about it and just their ambition for the title, and I think it looks awesome. And same deal for this one. We currently do not have a date other than there was the recent situation where there was a Disney Parks blog that said late 2024 was when it was going to be showing up, and they corrected it to just it's coming in 2024. So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be Black Myth Wukong, and I've been looking at this game for a very, very long time. We're hearing really good things about how it's sort of a combination of like Souls and God of War, and the gameplay and the art style just looks fantastic. This is one of the games landing in Unreal 5. We have had some games land in Unreal 5 that have struggled a little bit, so we are hoping this game doesn't land there. We're hearing very good things about it. There currently is a release date for this one.
More dickheads! Who the fuck are you guys?
This one is releasing.
I gotta kill your boy first.
2024. Now the fourth game.
Oh, I can't shoot his wheels.
Corner,
that makes
Prince
sense.
of Persia: The Lost Crown, and that is releasing.
God damn! What are these fucking walls, man? I'm stuck in here.
The performance info just dropped for this game, and I think it looks like a blast. I love platformers, and this one seems to capture all the things that I want in a game like this. There's fluidity of movement, there's great animations and attacks, there's boss fights. I just love how much variety we're getting in 2024, and Prince of Persia
fucking ran out of ammo. God damn it, what's with the fucking ammo in this game? No wonder I stopped playing this shit.
In 2024. Now, the fifth game that I'm looking forward to
God
is
damn it.
Nightingale.
Too much
this game
shit
has
to
sort of
manage.
drifted a bit from the public's eye, but I still think the potential for this game